If you're selling your products or services to Australia from overseas, you need to know about GST, the Goods and Services Tax. The rules apply even if your business isn't based in Australia. GST is a 10% tax that applies to almost everything purchased by Australian consumers. When a business is registered for GST, they have to charge GST on their sales when it's applicable. They then have to regularly file a Business Activity Statement or BAS and pay the GST they've collected to the Australian Tax Office, the ATO. You can register voluntarily, but you have to register if your business has a GST turnover of 75,000 Australian dollars in a rolling 12-month period, or you expect to reach that amount in your first year of trading. The GST threshold is your total income from sales you've made in Australia minus the GST included in your sales. Not all your sales will count towards your GST turnover, which can make it a bit tricky to calculate. If your products aren't in Australia when an Australian customer orders them, that's considered a distance sale. There are 2 points in that transaction at which GST could apply: at import or at the point of sale. It's the same rate in both instances. What's changing is when GST needs to be collected. When GST applies to a distance sale depends on the value of the item. If the sale was made on an electronic distribution platform or EDP, whether you, the seller, are registered for GST. The low value threshold in Australia is 1,000 Australian dollars per item. If you import an item with more than that to Australia, customs duties and import GST are payable at the border. GST only applies once per transaction, so if it's applied at the border, that item won't then be subjected to sales GST. Items valued at less than 1,000 Australian dollars don't face duties and GST upon import. Depending on the sales channel and your GST registration status, GST is instead applied at the point of sale. The ATO can consider an online marketplace an electronic distribution platform or EDP. Generally speaking, the EDP is responsible for collecting and remitting the GST on sales that take place on their platform when the sale is B2C, the goods sold are low-value imports. Either the marketplace or you, the seller, help get the goods to Australia. The sale is of imported services or digital goods. Just remember, EDPs aren't responsible in every case. For example, if you're selling stock that you've stored in an Australian warehouse on an EDP. You can find out more about Australian GST and book a time to talk to us about getting started selling to Australia on our website, simplyvat.com.